Hiya, it's me, Ken, back again. This is just really a progress report. You'll have to excuse me throat, I'm a bit croaky, but hopefully it won't last long. This is just a progress report on everything that we've been doing. It's March now, and the busy growing season is just round the corner. So I'm just going to show you the progress we've made with everything that we've done since Christmas. If you remember the potatoes we put in, they were in little pots. We sowed some carrots, and the garlic we put in October. So I'll just take you through everything, and then hopefully the next time we do some filming, everything we planted, and things will really be starting to grow when the good weather comes. You can see there's buds coming out now, but it's all starting, and the next stage is the planting. So the first thing, the beans, we sowed these in October, and if you look at the old videos, I was really struggling because it was very mild then, and they were growing a bit too fast. So I managed to slow them down, and as it's happened, they've done well. And now most people are just planting the bean seeds. Ours are actually flowering, so we're going to get a good early crop. The carrots, we'll go back in the greenhouse after. The carrots we sowed, they're doing well, but we'll have a look at these. But what I'm going to have to do, this is my carrot bed, because the cover fits this exactly, and with the root fly it's got to be nearly airtight, so I'll have to grow them in this again. But what I'll do, we've just put these in, so I'll dig up last year's carrots, and what you can do is just snap the tops off. Snap the tops off, and then get a bucket of peat or compost, just put them in willy-nilly, and put a few more loads in, and then just put more compost on top, and then fill it with carrots and compost, and keep it as cool as you can. And we should have carrots for about another month out of these, in which time the new ones will be only like pencils, but we will have carrots, and hopefully we'll have them for 12 months of the year. So that's the beans and the carrots. And there is one piece of asparagus coming through, but it's hardly worth looking at that yet. So we'll go and have a quick look at the garlic. Right, as you can see, the garlic's growing quite well. The leaves are a bit raggedy, but don't worry about it, it's just post-winter development really, so the centres are perfect, and it's quite nice, and you can always tell if it's going to be okay because this starts thickening up here a little bit there. So ignore the dead bits, it's growing perfectly how I want it. And when you think it's March now, it's probably already got another 3 months to grow, because we harvest it in June, so the garlic's doing okay. I'll just briefly mention my herbs. I'm very keen on herbs because I use lots, because as you might have gathered, I'm mad keen on cooking and using this stuff, so I've elevated them and made that. One, it looks a little bit nicer, and two, it's going to get more sun, so the flavour of the herbs should be more intense. So that's going to be quite useful this year, I think. So I think that's most of it outside, so we'll just go in the greenhouse because that's where everything is really happening at this time of year. The cold frames are all dug over, they're just waiting to warm up, so with plenty of stuff inside we'll be putting in there. So we'll go and have a look in the greenhouse and see how the rest of the stuff's going on now then. Right, it's a bit warmer in here now. My voice is still croaky, but you'll have to bear with me. We dug the beds over, a nice good deep digging. Now, before I put the tomatoes in, I'll get some farmyard manure and put a layer of that on, and then leave the doors on because you often get ammonia on it. And I've done that before, and the ammonia's actually killed the edges of the plant, so I'll put the manure on top and let it just get the ammonia out of it, and then I'll just fork it in, and then we're ready for planting. Probably end of April, first week in May, plenty of time. My outdoor strawberry bed, I potted one or two, brought them in and they're just making early growth. These will give me strawberries when, you're lucky if you're eating Cornish strawberries in mid-May. So they're just starting to be forced. I've still got some parsley left from last year. I used loads of parsley, but parsley's a biennial and it's starting to throw flowering shoots. So I'll get enough out of that till the new lot comes. So come inside to the walnuts bit now. This is where it gets really intense. These are all the plants that in the next couple of weeks, hopefully I'll be planting out. But first, if you've seen the other videos, just before Christmas I put potatoes in pots and I cheated them in the house, and at Christmas time they were starting to grow. These are them now. They've reached a nice stage and I've left them like this so that I can do this video. But these next couple of days I'll take them out and put them into the cold greenhouse. I'll be monitoring the temperature and it's keeping not going below 50, so that'll be okay. Now these will have potatoes on, so if you can just step back without breaking your neck, Mr. Cameraman. This one is one that I've took out and I have had a look at it first. Unfortunately the leaves flop when you do this, but if you can see with that one there, I've just stuck a few canes in and they will survive. But this is really a work of art, this now. So what you have to do, get your hand, I could do with flippers actually, but I've only got fingers, so lift it up and then, I have done this before so it's not as strong, just to check that there's something there. That's the potato and there we are. Yeah, there, can you, I don't know if, can you home in on that? That's the potato, so I don't know if you can see. So they're the potatoes. So now it's only March, there's no jerseys or anything in the shops, but I've actually got new potatoes now. Now I'll just, bear with me, I'll put this back so I don't do much harm. That's going to be okay there, and we'll stand it out and support the leaves after. Now what we do, mind you don't fall over the watering can, Mr. Cameraman. I'll knock them all out in my hand like that, and I'll probably take 2 potatoes off each, feel round for nice plump ones, and put them back. You would think what you do, you tip it all out and get them, but you'll find you'd have loads the size of peas and they'd be wasted. So if I go through all the plants, just take a couple off each and then put them back and leave them for another week. The smaller ones will swell and these will keep going for weeks and weeks, just taking them off when we need them. I've got a big pot of mint outside, so I'll cook them with mint, so this is a real good treat. We'll probably have our first lot this weekend. So that's what we do with those. So that's the potatoes. If you want to come back inside the nerve centre, Mr. Cameron. We've got some here. This is what those were like at Christmas. But if you think about it, it's only March and we won't be digging the main crop potatoes till July. So we've got a long time to go. So these are going to be the next lot that I'll do in buckets. So that's the potatoes up to now. I'll probably take some pictures of them when we've dug them and keep everybody up to date. This is the stuff that's almost ready for going out. We've got a nice Hispy spring cabbage. They're lovely plants, they were the first seeds we grew. But they're ready for putting out now. And with cabbage, I think I said it last time, you can plant them quite deep because all the stems will root and you'll get nice big plants. We'll have plenty of spring cabbage. That's my roundhead cabbage, that's the, oh crap, what variety is that? Well, that's the collies anyway. Got it written down there. Cabbage, what kind of cabbage is it now? Oh. Primo, that's the Primo cabbage. So we've got the collies, the Hispy and the Primo. These are the onions I'll be growing. This one's Santero. That's the bread and butter onion, that's really for storing. It's one that is really a cooking onion all the time, a big hardy one that's always there. This is a new one I'm trying called Isabel Rose. It's a pink onion and it should be quite sweet, but I don't know how it'll store. And that's my banana shallots. The round shallots are in there, but they're not quite at this stage because I couldn't get any seed and they were later. So that's 3 lots there. I'm also doing red ones, which I like growing those, tennis ball size for barbecuing. And this year I'm doing some, that's interesting, that one there, that's had it. When they're like that, they're useless. Don't bother planting them, they've had it. So if you get sets, just keep them on one side. So I'm trying a white one. They should be both sweet salad kind of onions. This is very early. These are climbing French beans. I've just put 6 in. These are the seeds. In the early videos I've shown you I've saved the seed, but they've germinated okay. And I'll see if I can get some very, very early beans, because obviously this time of year you're grateful for anything you can get fresh out of the garden. Although having said that, I've probably got 12 months supply frozen. The other thing is, excuse me, the tomatoes, we sowed these, if you look back at the videos, the Christmas tree was up as we were going out to sow them. These have been under lights and they're good. They're a lot stronger and stockier plants than what you buy at a garden centre. And if you see, even though it's only March, there's one truss and there's another truss flowering. The other little tip that I can show you is, you should, well, I presume you know, but you always take the side shoots out. You don't need those. Always nip them out so they crack and you don't leave any scar tissue, because that's where botrytis gets in and rots them. But what I do, I leave the bottom side shoot, and then when I plant them, that grows up and you get 2 plants for the price of 1. So it really is a good tip. Nobody I know does that at all, so it's a good thing to do. I'll probably repot them one more time before they go into the soil, and hopefully, it'd be nice to think we'll have tomatoes in May, but I would think we will do, we usually do. So that's the tomatoes. Do you want to go inside the special hot place and have a look at the young plants? If you go inside, there's the young tomatoes. They're the, in fact I'll show you. These are the beefsteaks, the nice ones that we slice, and they're the plum tomatoes that I'll be growing for freezing for sauces in Italian food. But if you want to wander in there with your camera and just have a quick look and have a look at the lights, because that's the first time I've tried them this year. There's not much left to show you now. It'd be worthwhile having a look at the previous video. You can see these have been planted, but these are modules. And I think it was January or so, we sowed these, about 4 seeds in each. That's the beetroot, Bolt Hardy beetroot and white Lisbon spring onions. These I'll be planting in cold frames in the next fortnight. You just, with a module like that, you just more or less stick that there, and that's your little plug, which just make a suitable hole. Oh, have I missed you there? And pop that in, and that's your plug for spring onions. They'll take about 4 or 5 weeks we'll be eating those, so not long after Easter we'll be having salad. The only other thing which really is quite exciting, well, it is to me, I suppose I need to get out more, don't I? But these are the carrots we sowed Christmas time. Now, as I've said, I'm going to dig the other carrots up and the beds will be ready. But these are in the long pots, and if you see what happens here now, can you see that right, Mr. Cameron? You'll see we've lots of little carrots, and although the roots are bent there, we only want them that long. I'll dig a perfectly round hole and just transfer these to the outside carrot bed. And I would think these, although they'll only be like pencils, but they'll be gorgeous carrots, and we'll be eating these in about 3 or 4 weeks. We might even have some for Easter. And like Easter, there's every chance we get some lamb. We'll have spring onions, new potatoes, carrots and mint sauce all out of the garden. And that's only April and we're off again. So I'll put that back before it gets dehydrated. But this is the real fun part of gardening. So most people think, oh, it's a bit early to sow carrots, and I wasn't nearly ready. As I look over here, I've just realised one of my deliberate mistakes. In January or so, we sowed some peas, French one, Douce Provence, and they've done really well. They are frost hardy. So if we go back outside, Mr. Cameraman, I'll just show you those. Right, we're back outside. This is the peas that we sowed. We put 2 in each pot. These are the ones that I didn't use. I'm always sorry for these kind of thing. But if you look down here now, they've grown beautifully and they're not flowering yet, but most people would be just thinking about planting sweet pea seeds, but these are well on the way. So these should give us peas well before they're in the shops. And I think peas are probably one of the nicest things you can grow. There again, mint and butter on fresh garden peas and new potatoes beats anything. So that's the last thing that we're going to really talk about. I say next time we meet, the birds should be singing, the sun should be out, and this garden should look totally different.